No, I didn't get a chance to ride it, even though it was there while I was visiting the Pike once. What happened there was my dad did the rides in the wrong order. He took us on the bumper cars first, which was fun. But guess what? Right next to the bumper cars was that double wheel Ferris wheel. Boy, when I got on that, my brother was on it with me, my dad was sitting between us. That scared me so much that we got off that, we walked over to the side of the Cyclone Racer, and it's going around the track there, making noise, people are screaming. And I'm looking up at that, he goes, "You want to go on that?" I said, "No way." It started off as just a little, like, reminiscing of what the thing was. And what that turned into was, it snowballed into all this. A reverse engineering process was a evolving thing. I mean, one of the first big problems was up front is because there was really not much on the internet, there was very few pictures to work with. Matter of fact, I didn't have all the pictures I need to get it spot on. There'd be areas that you'd have to say, okay, you just got to put something in mathematically correct there, and that's as good as you're going to get it for that particular point. And hopefully, as time would go on, you'd be able then to fill it in with what should be there. But then as the internet evolved into the early 2000s to maybe to 2005, that's when some stuff in some areas that I've never even seen pictures before came available. And then you had to go back and retune that area to get it exactly right. And the whole idea is to get it exactly right, because everything in that ride works harmoniously. The profile of the track works in tandem with the trains. If you do anything to alter stuff, it's not going to work right. And I came up with this process that allows me to extrapolate the design data right out of the photographs. Talking to people did help figure stuff out. Chris McComb was a guy that I met through the internet. He would email me and tell me about how many times he rode it. He would go down there, buy 10 tickets, ride it 10 times in a row. That tells you how good it is.
I stumbled across his website. It was at cycloneracer.com, and through that I started emailing Larry, and we started talking, and he was in the process of doing the CAD CAM and redesigning the roller coaster, and I described my experience on it, because I had ridden it and he hadn't ridden it, so that was kind of nice that I was able to put my input in. And I tried to get some of my other friends to ride that roller coaster, but they were too scared. I mean, the thing was just towering overhead when you walked up to it. And the excitement when you got up to the station there where the trains were loaded. And you get into the train, and the car was lowered onto the track because they used an air brake to stop it. They'd actually lifted off the track. So they lowered onto the track, and then the thing would just start rolling. The train would start rolling around the corner. And that huge lift hill, you hear the clacking of the motor, go clack, 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 clack up the hill. And then you got up to the top of the first hill, the lift hill, and the train would slowly go over the top of the hill until you had a good view of the bottom. And it was a long way down, super steep, and then
How I feel about the Pike area now, it's an area you don't even want to visit. I mean, it's very depressing. And what once was there, this thriving area, tourist attraction for people around the world. What city does not want tourists to come in their city? I can't think of any. So why would you take the goose that laid the golden eggs out of your city? And that's exactly what they did.
I think the mentality at the time with Long Beach was, out with the old, in with the new. Santa Cruz and San Diego have their historic roller coasters. They recognize those as a historical part of their community, and Long Beach tore it down.
This particular picture is going to illustrate what the city did to convince the people a road was going to be in the path of the racer, and the racer had to go, when actually that wasn't the case. You see this flyover bridge right here that heads out to the Queen Mary. They purposely put that flyover in the path of the racer, the last about 25 feet of it. And you could see right here the rows of the piles where the roller coaster was. A roller coaster, and you could see that that thing was intentionally put in the way when they got all this room that they could have moved it. And then on top of that, when it was time to build the aquarium, this no longer had to be there for some reason. They totally bulldozed this out so they could put the parking lot in. So you could say they used that as a tool to fool the public. You say, you know what? That racer is in 25-foot way of our bridge right there, so the racer has to go. But the Long Beach residents really loved the thing and would like to see it back. The blueprints for the whole Cyclone Racer project are already finished. All the engineering's done. As a matter of fact, I could start putting it together right now, bolting it together if the stamp of approval is on it. There's no wait time here. We're building a 4.5 acre pier, 100% over the water, parallel to Shoreline Park. I've woven in there 14 other upscale attractions. These are thrill rides and a mix of some of the old Pike rides that I felt were spectacular, like the double wheel Ferris wheel is one of them. You're basically gonna have from one side as you go down the grand entrance, and that takes you on the main pier. To the left is everything as you remembered the Cyclone Racer from a picture-taking moment back in the day.
The Cyclone Racer is ready to be rebuilt here in Long Beach with the plans that I've seen. It's ready to go. Oh, I'd love to ride it again. I'd ride it 10 times in a row, just like I did when I was a kid.